Leslie Campbell. It should be under York County.
Well, no, not in this case.
Okay.
Because she is representing.
She's representing
all
okay.
of the
Gotcha.
area directors. So this would be a representative guidance, director guidance, standalone representative superintendent. And she happens to be under here as this title, so we could leave that for there. Of course, you don't would be begin rep over there. So we'll just bring that change.
Well, tell you one thing, you always have opportunity just to you know that.
You just keep telling me, but I never see the list.
We try to keep you guys.
Is it in today's packet?
If I sit right here, will this thing go over my head?
Have a seat.
I don't know, I thought you two guys would be doing that. Lori he said he was pretty good.
Yeah, well,
We got a chance. How you guys? I was waiting for the thing down. I thought somebody plugged us at the table, so I thought sitting outside.
but I came in there.
I'll sit over here. There ain't nobody else will. That's right. But Caribou was where we were before.
That's true.
How you doing? John, how you doing?
Good, sir. Yourself?
All right, all right.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I could go work on the thing.
If any,
Okay, we can go ahead and get started, I think. In your package, you have a list of the membership of the executive committee. And we had, let's see, Lori Collier is on her way, I understand.
Yeah, should be just coming up.
Elwood Lewis, we can go around the table and let each person introduce themselves, and then we'll go on by the agenda.
Tom Richardson, Coordinator of Vocational Education, Williamsburg, James City County Schools.
Bob Suber, Director of Vocational Education, Hampton City Schools.
George Curtis, Assistant Superintendent for Coastal Schools.
Leslie Kaplan, Director of Guidance, York County.
Ann Dalton, Dean of Instruction at Thomas Nelson.
Marie Tyler, Division Chairman Business, Thomas Nelson.
I'm Gene Wingo, Division Chairman, Natural Science and Mathematics.
John Dever, Division Chairman, Communications and Humanities.
Steve Boykin, representing Ralph Johnson, Director, New Horizons Technical Center.
Harvey Perkins, Assistant Superintendent, Newport News.
Billy Kennedy, Assistant Superintendent, Tech.
And Dick Lewis, Assistant Superintendent in York County.
Ivy Waters, Division Chair for Public Services Technologies, Thomas Nelson.
John Lawrence, Chairman, Engineering Division at Thomas Nelson.
Bob Templin, President, Thomas Nelson Community College.
Doris Wimmer, working with this project.
Niels Brooks, Director of Adult Vocational Education, York County, and teacher, Cecil's assistant.
Lisa Smith, Chamber of Commerce. Charlie Kaczynski, Chamber of Commerce.
No, Cecil Phillips.
Great.
Lauren just came in time to introduce herself. If you would go over the listing that we have here for membership, make sure that the information we have pertaining to you is correct. If not, if you would let Lisa know, we'll get that changed on there so that we will have a correct membership listing. Now, listed, we're going to separate out the people under New Horizons because really we have Ralph Johnson from New Horizons. Dr. Gaten Caruth is Superintendent of Williamsburg, James City County. She's superintendent in charge of New Horizons, and in that capacity, she will be the representative of the superintendents on this committee. And then, of course, Leslie is here representing the area vocational guidance directors from all the school divisions. And then Doris, the combination of those two, will be heavily involved in curriculum development and PR committees and all these other good things. So they'll play multi-roles in the overall project. And at this time, it would be my pleasure to introduce to you and ask if Dr. Templin would please make some comments.
What do you say? Wow. Well, we made it. We made it to the next step. I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to all of you first for your willingness to serve on this executive committee. I'm looking around the room and I think I've spoken with every one of you over a number of years and many times about the ideas that have come together and have made the proposal what it is today. It represents the vision and the wishes, the energy, the motivation and commitment of 5 school divisions, a community college, the Chamber of Commerce, a region of people committed to nothing less than the very best in the world, a world-class standard of education for our children, not just for some, but for all. And an attempt on the part, no, a determination on the part of a region to come together and to do what no other region in the Commonwealth of Virginia has been able to do. And what's more, we have the arrogance or the talent, I'm not sure, maybe a combination of both, to think that we can pull it off, and the determination, and I'm sure that we can. What we're about to set off on together is a regional commitment between business, industry, government, and education to make available relevant educational experiences for students that traditionally may not have seen going on to college as a part of their life goal and plan, but creating a set of experiences and opportunities and expectations for those students to achieve second to no other group of students in schools. Not by warming over what was done or watering down, but by creating a different set of experiences that are available to them. And we don't have a lot of money to do it, and so it's going to take that will and determination for us to pull it off. But I've been around the state from one end to the other, talking to educators about the need for this kind of project, and all apparent they see the need for the effort. There's only one region in the entire Commonwealth that has the determination to pull it off. And many of you are already involved in your individual school divisions and here at Thomas Nelson Community College in causing that to happen. And if there is a place in the United States that's going to make it happen, it's right here, it's with you. We have a gigantic task to do. But we have the support of each other and of our business community to see that it's done. I'm going to make it my priority to work with the area superintendents, both as a group and individually, to see that this project continues to receive the enthusiastic support that they've initially given to it, because it's not going to be done in a short period of time. And it will, if we do it correctly, not be without controversy, because we're heightening expectations. And for some parents and teachers and students, that heightened expectation is a painful process of change. And we need to be patient but persistent. And we must do this together. It's through doing it together that we'll be successful. We're not, Lori, planting flowers around the house. We're rebuilding the house. And I think it's important that you be willing to take risks and to be imaginative. Act boldly in this effort. We can do some experimentation under the broad umbrella that the grant provides. We have license to try some things that if we were alone we couldn't do. So let's do that. Let's take that opportunity. And let's be the pioneers that Virginia knows us to be. Let's set the next generation straight on the curriculum restructuring that we're about. I'm very pleased to be here with you and be associated with such a fine group. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. The project.
Now I have to go do what Cecil told me I have to do, so I have to do the chores and make sure that it all gets done. Forgive me. Excuse me.
Everyone has facetious way of thinking. But I think before I get into an overview of the project, what I'd like to do is to, first of all, I think we owe a big thanks to the 5 people who put in a lot of time and effort in writing this grant proposal. We had Doris Wimmer, Niels Brooks, Charlie, who did all the typing, and every time she turned around we were changing. I think we had about 10 days in which to get this thing done. And it made me feel good. I'm on the State Tech Prep Planning Committee, and when we met in Richmond to review all the proposals that came in, of course we all divided up into different groups. Doris and I, being part of this project, were assigned to read proposals, and I was assigned to the planning grant area. Doris was on development implementation, so that we didn't have a conflict. The exemplary grants, which we applied for, were read by a different group of people. And it gave me a good feeling when they came back the next day, when they made their final decisions and told me that they had decided on the first day that ours was #1, that we would be funded. That they spent the rest of the time trying to pick one out of the other 8. There were 9 proposals that we were in competition with from around the state. Virginia, Western, and Roanoke County, that whole consortium there, received the other grant funding. This grant is funded under the Carl Perkins Vocational Education Act. I believe it's Section E of the Act, Tech Prep. Carl Perkins Vocational Applied Technology Act Amendments, PO 101-392, Title 3, Part E. This Part E is the Tech Prep funding. Now, in the past, all vocational funding received by the state of Virginia, the Department of Education, vocational monies have then been funded out to the localities by the Department of Vocational Education. This time, due to the nature of Tech Prep, the Department of Ed and the VCCS got together and decided that the Tech Prep money, which this year is a little bit over $1.4 million, Virginia's share of the $63 million that was approved by Congress, was transferred to VCCS for their administration of that account. Now, the sad part of that is as of this morning, we still don't have any money, even though we have a grant approved. The letter was mailed out yesterday, the official letter, to the superintendents and everyone else to notify officially that we had been funded. But as of this morning, the monies which are in DOE have not been transferred to VCCS. And what VCCS is trying to do is to get the Department of Ed to transfer the lump sum amount up front. If they can manage that, they in turn then will fund us the full amount, which is $150,000 for this year, up front. And then we'll have a reporting on a monthly basis back to VCCS. But this morning, I found out that VCCS has been told by Department of Ed that that's not legal, that they can't put the money over to VCCS up front, and they have a meeting tomorrow morning to try to resolve that issue. Okay? So somewhere along the line, we will finally get an account number in Richmond and be able to start spending money. Until that time, John's giving me all I want to spend out of his accounts, and you know, he's a nice fellow. So that's what we'll operate on until we get some money on John's account. What I wanted to do now, Niels and I, is to give you a quick overview of the total project and the task that we've got before us. Dr. Templin touched on it a little bit, but I think if you get into the proposal and read it, what you're going to see is no small task. It's a major restructuring effort, 9 through 14. Our initial efforts are going to primarily impact the secondary school level, but hopefully it'll raise the levels and improve everything across the board. This is the basic premise that we started with, knowing that if we continue to do what we've always done, we're going to get more of the same. And the question is that what we want? And we know that that's not what we want. The minister is not satisfied. Everybody's trying to go through a restructuring effort about the math and sciences and technology. Then we have the Attack 2000 effort at the Chamber of Commerce, which includes all the other programs that you see here. The mentorship program for students, leading to internships, apprenticeships, expanding cooperative education efforts, here to the organizational chart. Probably when we really get into this thing and get everybody involved, at one time or another, it's going to be 300 to 400 total people as a minimum involved in this project. Okay? From 9 through 12. You are here, the executive committee. You have the responsibility for overseeing the total operation of this project, setting the policies and procedures and guidelines and all these other good things, making sure that the project staff keeps on schedule and carries out the directions that we've set for this project. Myself as project director, Niels as associate director, and with the help of Doris and Charlie and Lisa, we'll do it. Okay? The Master Tech project was small in comparison to what we're going to do here, and it involved a large number of people. Also, the Master Tech, as most of you know, that model was adopted by the state and is being implemented still across the state. And a lot of other states adopted that model. I think when we complete this model, it's going to make that one so outmoded, it'll look like the old Model A or Model T or something. I think, as most of you know, currently, we're not getting the flow of students through the secondary schools to the community college and Master Tech that we all thought we should and still think we should be getting. I believe this project, when we get the applied academics in place, we're going to see a larger number of students coming up through that program and being successful. Because the math right now that's required in that program is really the killer in holding the students back. And with the applied academics, we should overcome that. We'll be putting together the Collaboration Council very shortly, and that will be the advisory group to this executive committee. We want at least 10 to 15 business and industry people there, and I think we're going to probably need more than that. I hope we do. And then we're going to add some other people like PTA Council presidents. There is a Peninsula Association of PTA Council presidents. We're going to ask them to appoint 1 or 2 of their people to serve there. We're going to add some additional educators that we deem necessary, some additional counselors, and other people to that collaboration council. And they will be working in concert with this committee, and advising this committee and assisting this committee anywhere possible. We will have consultants working also as advisory to this committee from the BCCS office and the State Department of Ed. The State Department of Ed, I'm not sure of right now.
Aren't we all?
BCCS, I know, will get assistance from there. I'm not quite sure at DOE who is going to be available, if anybody's going to be left. We'll also be putting together a public relations and marketing committee, which I think most of you know we're going to be successful. That's key. We got to do that. And how well that committee functions will be key to our success. We will also have the Big Ed Council here working directly with the project director and associate director in every way that they can possibly assist. Charlie being the senior vice president for the chamber and also manager of the Big Ed group, and working with us on the project, will give us all the assistance that we need. The first effort will be here, and Niels will talk about that a little bit more, because we hope to be ready to start implementing the applied academics at the end of the second year of the project. We feel that it's critical that we get the applied academics in place before the end of the project, so that when we start integrating the academics into the vocational at the end of the third year of the project, that will already be in place and operational. When you look at these clusters here, that's not just one writing team. Under each of those clusters, trade and industrial and technology education, you know, that thing looks more like an octopus. It just keeps on branching out in terms of the number of different trades that you'll have to work with. The business and marketing area, I think, is pretty self-explanatory in terms of what comes under that. The one that you may have questions about will be this one, the human services. We're basically thinking about lumping everything under that cluster that deals with services. You can talk about child care and all that health areas, okay, under this one. Now, I also think it's important for the committee to understand that we put this proposal together in a very short period of time, and I think it's a good one, but it's not in concrete. Okay, we don't have to follow it verbatim. Okay? It was a proposal, and I think as we go through this and we get more into it, I think everyone's going to see a more need for a change. Plus, we know that we got 5 school districts. We know that all 5 school districts are not at the same place at the same time. Okay? So we may have to put more effort in one area than another area, or a little different effort. You know, at the end of the project, we may have a little different curriculum in one school division than another, all coming toward the same end objective to meet this goal. Okay? So we're not trying to mold or fit everybody into the same mold in terms of dictating to every school division what their curriculum is going to look like and what they're going to end up with. I think that's key and that's important. I think I should use division, I'm told, right? The state code says we are divisions, we are not districts. But anyway, that's the overall basic objective. Anybody have any questions that I might try to answer at this point? Then Niels will get into the applied academic aspect of what we are going. It's a $450,000 grant, allocating $150,000 per year with carryover rights. Any underexpended funds from this year we can carry into next year, add to 150, which is good. We may not be able to spend 150 this year since we don't have a whole year left. Okay? We'll need it next year.
How do you see or do you see as a component to the structure staff development.
Okay. We've got, when you get into the proposal and look at the budget, you'll see that we've got staff development at every possible point. Well, I shouldn't say that. We've got a lot of staff development activities in there, but I'm sure that we're going to find more need from more staff development than we can fund. We know and we recognize up front that we cannot do any of these efforts without an awful lot of upfront staff development activities.
So that may be something that the division may have to deal with.
Well, I think that it's something that by utilizing the project as the central focus and for a lot of money to supplement some of the activities school divisions already have planned, I think we can both get a lot more mileage out of our monies than we would have otherwise. Okay. By combining joint effort.
What I want to do is take just a few minutes to talk about the applied academics. This is not exactly. I feel like I didn't have my V8 this morning. It was much needed. What I want to talk to you about is what I think is the most important part of a whole proposal and the common thread that can run through all the school divisions and the aspect of the proposal that will make this truly transportable not only across the state but across the nation. And that's the applied